Are you fed up with the advice, input, and comments coming from your family and friends telling you how to live your life? Do you find yourself leaving conversations and family gatherings feeling frustrated, triggered, and ready to fight? You might even be thinking to yourself, how can they tell me what to do if they ain't never been or want to go where I'm headed? After watching today's video, you will be able to better handle these situations, and you can even get the one insight that can change your whole perspective for the better. Welcome back to the Better Than Best Academy, where creativity and personal development collide. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a pause here and thank you for your support in this channel. Hundreds and thousands of you choose to follow and subscribe to us on this app, and honestly, my mind is blown, and I'm so extremely grateful for each one of you. I don't take this responsibility, this privilege, this honor lightly. You chose and still choose to take out time of your day to listen and absorb and consume this content, hoping to get better in your life. And I truly hope that is exactly what you get, and then some. The way to continue to support this channel is simple. If you're not following or subscribing, then go ahead and hit the button and do so now. And if you are, then I want you to consider contributing financially. See, using the links in the description below, you'll be able to contribute that way. And by doing so, you help us further expand and provide more high quality content to keep you encouraged, motivated, and inspired to live your better than best life. Today we're talking about how this one distinction can completely change the way you interact with your loved ones. Recently, a client of mine sent me a message telling me how frustrated he was because a few members of his family started really joking around about the changes, positive changes he was making in his life. See, the fact that he was waking up early, going to sleep early, he was always spending time on growing and building his business and didn't go out partying and doing the things that people his age were doing. See, this client of mine found himself often reacting in intense emotional ways by being brutally honest and blunt with his words towards his loved ones. And he would tell them, stop giving me advice because you do not know or want to go where I'm going. Now, you are probably hearing this story and you're thinking, what a horrible person. Or maybe you're hearing this and you can really relate. It's okay. We're all human and we need a little bit of grace sometimes. And the beauty of this is, see, he was being emotional, and most of us tend to react this very emotional way when we are hurt. But did you ever ask yourself what triggered this reaction? Have you ever taken the time to really self-reflect on the root causes of the ways that you react to certain situations like this? See, when we go through certain events as a child, our mind remembers them and takes us back to those moments anytime a similar event occurs in the present or future. See, it's very common for our minds to connect these dots together, especially if it's a similar action to the ones that happened in the past and took place in the present. That's exactly what was happening in my client's life. In these types of situations, there's a few ways that you can combat having these reactions that you'll regret later. And the first way is self-reflect. Let's self-reflect on your childhood. Think about what was the most enjoyable thing that happened when you were a child. Also think about the times that you may have experienced rejection, abandonment, or any big negative emotions, because at the root of that emotion is the inner fear that caused it in the first place. What caused this inner fear came from a traumatic event in our past. Believe it or not, our subconscious mind is attached to the words, feelings, smells, sights, tastes that are connected to that awful event. This is what triggers our lashing out in the present. This is what triggers those negative reactions because it comes from the past. These were the words that I told my client. See, he reacted in this way not because he didn't love his family, but because his family had a similar behavior to the bully who would mock him when he was younger for being who he was. And at that time, back in the past, he couldn't defend himself. He didn't know how to speak well, but when he did learn in the future, and this similar behavior was being experienced, whenever his family would say these things, he would immediately see the bully, and he would be triggered into a reaction in his brain which would cause him to view his family as the bullies in his past who were insulting him and hurting him for being himself. See, when in reality, it's not his family that triggered him, it's their behavior. And when we are able to detach the behavior from the person that's speaking, you can remind yourself that the person loves you. They don't intend to hurt you. They don't recognize that this behavior even triggers you. You're probably thinking, Red, this is all good and great, but how can I fix this problem? Well, I want to help you fix this problem permanently. And the simplest thing that you can do is, hey, I just wanted to pause here and give you the opportunity to either apply to be a guest on this show or give you the opportunity to work with me as your coach. To do that, you will find either of those links in the description that'll say either be a guest on the show or book a free 30-minute Zoom discovery call. Each path will get you headed towards living your most creative and fulfilled life as you learn to live better than best. All right, now back to today's conversation. Here's what you can do to solve this problem. First, recognize those triggers and remind yourself in the moment that the person isn't the problem, it's their behavior. And so instead of getting mad at them, you will remember that this is your family, this is your loved ones. They just happen to have the same behavior in this moment that you don't like. This in itself will help you stay calm. And then the second thing that you can do is to let go of the past. Let go of what happened back then. Recognize that it is over. It is gone. Don't let it ruin today. How do you do that? By telling yourself in your mind, it was in the past. It was in the past. It was in the past. It is gone. It is over. Now is the present. And then the third option that you can try is to tell your friends and family and loved one about how this behavior makes you feel. That way they can stop doing it, or at least try to. And then the fourth thing that you can do is to journal about this experience. Really go back in your mind to that moment and try and find the core and the root of the problem, because when you find the core of the problem, sometimes you can find the solution in there that you can use. And then the final thing that you can do is get comfortable with explaining who you are and be honest with your family and friends. Don't be scared of their judgment, and remind yourself that what they say is not true. What they say is not true. It is only true if I accept it. It is only true if I accept it. Remember, you don't have to prove to them that they are wrong or that you're right. You just have to remind them that this behavior really does trigger and affect you. In closing, you must remember these two key distinctions. 1, separate the people from the behavior. Separate the people from the behavior because people are not their behaviors. And then 2, know that our response is our responsibility, not the people that hurt us, whether it's intentional or accidental. And that's what I have for you today. And I hope today's video really inspires you. And if it did, take a moment, comment which of these points, which of these options, maybe the key distinctions that spoke to you the most. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And be sure to share this with a friend and a loved one struggling, because we all have someone that is struggling. And if you're a true friend, you won't hide this from those that you love. Help them out. Help them help you, and help them help themselves. They need to know it. And as always, friend, I'm praying for you. I love you. Now let's go live better than best as we conquer this week. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. Let's stay connected. You can either click on the video or click the little subscribe button so we can stay connected. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at coach.redwallace to get more consistent encouragement and motivation to live your better than best life.